We bring all our friends on divisional weekend here at Fox. Both sidelines are covered. Let's start with Erin Andrews.
Joe, thanks so much. Green Bay thinking they're a much different team than the first time they played Dallas. Aaron Rodgers, he didn't have anything positive or pleasant to say about his performance then, but today in pregame he told me biggest key for him, a quicker start. As for the defense, Mike Daniels saying they are coming in with a chip on their shoulder. He told me they're sick of hearing about Ezekiel Elliott. I said, so how do you stop him? He quoted Mike Tyson. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. For more on Dallas, let's send it over to Chris Myers.
Aaron, how does rookie Dak Prescott, who says he doesn't get nervous, get ready for the biggest game of his life? Well, it begins with an intense pregame workout routine that he's been doing all year, running, stretching, throwing. But he wants to work himself into a lather. He said, I want to be drenched in sweat as if I've already played the game before it kicks off. That's how I'm ready. It's worked all season long. His last words to his teammates before they came out through the tunnel, be yourself, have fun. Let's go back up to Joe and Troy.
Chris, Aaron, thank you. Spanish language broadcast available on both Fox Deportes and by utilizing SAP on our broadcast. Glad you're with us. The Green Bay Packers won the toss. They deferred, so that means we see number 4, who will try to be himself. And this place is alive and electric. Glad you're with us today on Fox. Here comes Dak Prescott, a Pro Bowler in his rookie year. And the passer rating 104.9. That was 3rd best across the NFL.
Well, the thing that's been so impressive about, a lot of things have been impressive about Dak Prescott this year, but he does a great job of protecting the football, and rarely when you watch him does he ever even put the ball in harm's way. He's very patient. You don't get as many big plays down the field, but he's very conscientious of where he throws the ball.
Elliott left side, cuts back. Burnett off the edge on the stop. Ezekiel Elliott, who led the National Football League with over 1,600 rushing yards, picks up 2. Here's the offense for the Dallas Cowboys and where they rank. They're 5th in both offensive points scored and defensive points allowed. And the rushing yards second to only Buffalo behind that terrific offensive line. 2nd and 8. Fake it to Elliott. They hits Terrence Williams, and Williams is going to scoot out of bounds with a first down. He had 4 catches in their previous meeting in week 6. All 4 went for first downs. And we'll look at this Green Bay Packers defense that is again without Quentin Rollins. What they've done over the last 7 games, a big reason why they're on this 7-game winning streak. They've taken it away 17 times to support what Aaron Rodgers is doing on offense.
Well, that would certainly help them in this ball game. The other thing that they've got to do a better job of is not giving up the big plays.
Lucky Whitehead was coming. Here's Elliott left side with his typical 6, 7, 8-yard gain. This one good for 7, and Clay Matthews is out there to make the stop. And nobody ran the ball more or more effectively on first down than Ezekiel Elliott. And it's been a very balanced attack for Jason Garrett's team.
Well, this is one of those runs, and it's how the Cowboys hurt them in the first matchup. You see Micah Hyde, 33. There's just nobody out there for contain. And time after time, back in October, we saw Ezekiel Elliott get on the perimeter, and he does here on this first possession.
180. What do you think?
Straight drop back, wide open, pass caught. Dez Bryant. Gunter will see a lot of Dez Bryant, and the first completion good for 13.
Well, complete breakdown in coverage. You see nobody goes to the flat, covers that area. I don't know if it's Ha-Ha, Clinton Dix or not, but they completely vacate the zone and give Dak Prescott an easy completion.
The drive started at the 25. It's already at the Green Bay 40. Play action. Prescott, Micah Hyde. And a big defensive play by Micah Hyde, who had 1 sack during the regular season, a loss of 6.
Excellent job by Micah Hyde coming off the edge, and as Jason Witten comes out to pick him up, he stops. Prescott thinks he's got to step up in the pocket. Hyde comes underneath that block and makes the sack.
Hyde has been so valuable for the Green Bay Packers. He's played some outside corner, he's played inside, he's played safety, and he comes on a blitz. Here's Beasley looking for blocks, getting blocks. And on a catch and run, Cole Beasley, who was the Cowboys' leading receiver this season, gets 14.
We're seeing the Cowboys, they're mixing things up. They got the quick passing game going with Dak Prescott. This is exactly how Scott Linehan opened it up the last time these two teams met. They run the football with Ezekiel Elliott, the play action passing game, and he has got it dialed up. And we saw the play by Micah Hyde, but outside of that, this Cowboys offense has the Packers on their heels.
3rd down and 2. Prescott, Bryant broke it up. Gunter got in there and he's hurt. And this is already a thin secondary for the Green Bay Packers. And when Ladarius Gunter got his hand in there, he got run into by Morgan Burnett.
And Morgan Burnett coming from the middle of the field, and boy, they're so thin already at the cornerback position coming into the game.
Bailey, the kicker, already on the field for Dallas. Darius Gunter is on the bench, looks fine. Got over to the sideline with no issues. They're not even looking at him. He got that hit from his teammate Morgan Burnett. It broke up the pass that was intended for Des Bryant. That means that Dan Bailey, who is usually one of the most reliable kickers in the NFL, will have a little time, and he has had a little time to think about this 50-yard try. They give the Cowboys the first points of the game. Bailey, perfect. And now Mike McCarthy's offense will head to work. And as we said in the beginning, he's got the most dangerous weapon in the NFL, calling the signals. What he's done during this 7-game winning streak. Whether it's the completion percentage, the passing yardage, the touchdowns, no interceptions. This is a team that hasn't turned it over in 5 straight. And the quarterback rating is ridiculous. And I like what you said during the open. You were talking to Aaron as I was before the game, and you saw that look in his eye like he is feeling confident rolling into this one against Dallas.
Yeah, and like I said, there's no reason why he shouldn't be as confident as he is when you look at what he's been able to do here over the last really 8 ball games. You go back to their last loss to the Washington Redskins, but he has been on fire, and he's got this team playing at an awfully high level. And I think that we go back to that first possession, Joe, of the Cowboys. That's a win for this Packers defense. I mean, they know that they're going to give up some yards, but if they can make the Cowboys settle for field goals at the end of those possessions, as hot as this offense has been, 5 weeks in a row, Aaron Rodgers and company have scored 30 or more points.
Bailey kicks it away at the end of a year where he set a career best for touchbacks with 57. And here comes Aaron Rodgers. It's been 285 pass attempts since his last interception, the longest streak of his career. And the Packers, during this 7-game win streak, have trailed for only a combined 26 minutes 8 seconds, and they're trailing here early 3-0.
It's really remarkable when you consider how well he protects the football, not just this year, but really every year, because a lot of times to protect the ball like that, you're sacrificing big plays. Not with Aaron Rodgers. He's giving you the big plays down the field, and yet he still is able to minimize the turnovers.
Rodgers looked right, then left, then middle, and finds Ty Montgomery, his running back, who gains 5 out to the 30. See where the Packers rank offensively over the last 5 games, what they've been able to do, scoring 35 points a game. They just put up 38 on a terrific New York Giants defense, and what they've done in total yards per game, but they're playing without their top receiver, Jordy Nelson, out with broken ribs.
So those 38 points last week against the New York Giants, they came after they had punted the first 5 times they had the football. That's how explosive this offense is.
Interesting formation on 2nd and 5, and it's Ripkowski who gets popped by Mayowa. Hitchens helped out, but the big defensive lineman Benson Mayowa was in there, and here's Aaron at his best. Hurry up offense down the sideline for Adams, incomplete, and there's a flag down. So Rodgers already catching the Dallas Cowboys trying to substitute. You see Mayowa, who just made that last play, 93, not able to get off the field.
Well, it's right in front of the Cowboys bench too, and I know in visiting with Sean Lee, and he said, yeah, you know, we're going
illegal substitution, 12 players on the field, defense. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
I was really surprised, Joe. Sean Lee says, yes, we are going to substitute, but we're going to be smart about when we do it. And I don't think there's ever a time to try to substitute from what we've seen over the years with Aaron Rodgers. And the very first time they tried to, Aaron is looking for that. He gets to the line of scrimmage and he catches them with 12 men on the field.
And it gives the Packers a first down by penalty.
They'll rethink their position on whether or not they're going to substitute against this guy.
And a timeout is taken by Dallas defensively. They're out of sorts coming off the bye week. Aaron Rodgers already caught him once. 3-0 Dallas. So Aaron Rodgers has already caught the Cowboys defense with too many men on the field, and then Dallas had to use a timeout. First down for Green Bay, trailing by 3. Montgomery left side cuts back, and Ty Montgomery out to midfield. Started the year as a backup wide receiver and now the featured running back.
Well, this is where Ty Montgomery has really excelled, as he's gotten more time running the football as the cutback. He's gotten more and more patient with the ball in his hands, and this is an element that this Cowboys team did not see the last time they met. Yes, Ty Montgomery was very involved as a receiver, caught a lot of passes in that game. Didn't have much of an impact as a runner. He's a much better player now.
15-yard carry, quick setup and throw, and the pass is caught by Cobb. Randall Cobb down near the 35. Dangerous throw that was almost undercut. It's good for 16 yards.
It's a quick release by Aaron Rodgers, and you're right that there was a coverage coming underneath that throw, and if that ball was a little lower, Barry Church might have had an opportunity.
Cobb coming off a huge game against the Giants, had missed the previous 2 with a bad ankle. Tied a playoff record with 3 receiving touchdowns against New York. Flags, free play. Rodgers, touchdown! Flags are down on the field. Sean Lee was back in coverage, and Richard Rodgers is good for the touchdown of 34 yards if it stands.
Well, Jared Cook, he's the X factor.
Defense number 95. This penalty is declined. The results of the play, touchdown.
He's got the ability to stretch a defense up the seam, and he's got Sean Lee, who's in coverage, puts a good move on him, and then immediately Sean Lee is beat. Aaron Rodgers, knowing he had a free play, he was able to draw the Cowboys off sides. Cook is able to haul an underthrown ball in. That's an excellent job. So we've seen Rodgers now with a couple free snaps take his shots, and this time it pays off with a touchdown.
It's just next level thinking by Aaron Rodgers with what he does, getting his team to the line, hurrying the play, catching Dallas trying to substitute, and then getting him offside. Crosby adds the extra point. And it's Richard Rodgers getting a chance to celebrate here in Arlington, Texas, as the first touchdown of the game, and Mike McCarthy's squad up 7-3. Richard Rodgers has kind of been the forgotten guy. Only 7 catches over the previous 7 games, none last week against the New York Giants. And he's good for a 34-yard touchdown strike from Aaron Rodgers. And I know it's early, but the Green Bay Packers, as you said, Troy, just traded a field goal for a touchdown. A kneel down by Lucky Whitehead. We go back to the touchdown, Rodgers to Rodgers.
Yeah, you're going to see verticals here with Davante Adams and then Richard Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is working off of Barry Church, and he's going to move and work towards Davante Adams, and then Aaron Rodgers, as you'll see, he is able to get Barry Church cheating that direction because of the look that he gives to Davante Adams, and once he gets him to move, he knows he's got one-on-one on the backside, and then they're able to take advantage of Richard Rodgers beating Sean Lee.
Second possession for Dallas. Elliott gets it. Picks up 5. Let's go back to that touchdown throw, and the ball goes right between the arms of Sean Lee into the waiting arms of Richard Rodgers.
That's great concentration by Richard Rodgers. The ball gets that close to a defender, being able to secure the catch. Not an easy play for him to make.
2nd and 5. Play action. Prescott. His receiver falls down and may have been pushed or interfered with. Des Bryant. And a flag is thrown.
Holding, defense number 36, a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So Darius Gunner, who he's been lining up with Des Bryant, and he gets beat as Bryant goes to the post, and he's coming back out to the corner, and Prescott takes a big lick by Jake Ryan at the end of that play. It was good protection, but as Prescott was holding it, waiting on Bryant to come out of that break, you know, he had to hold it a little longer than he wanted to. So Darius Gunner, expect to see that a good part of this ball game, and that should be a pretty good matchup in terms of what Ladarius Gunner does well in being a physical player.
Here's Elliott trying to get to the edge, shows his speed. He can run it inside, he can take it outside, and Demarius Randall there for the stop after a gain of 9.
Well, they just have not been able to solve the puzzle of not allowing Ezekiel Elliott to get on the perimeter. Demarius Randall, as you mentioned, Joe, he's the corner. He's got the outside contain, and he gets caught inside, and Elliott then is able to get on the edge and pick up a nice game.
Got a hit to the helmet from Demarius Randall on that stop. 2nd and 1. There he is again, now inside, and he will push forward for a first down. And he says, "Feed me." That's become his signature move after a carry.
Well, they're going to feed him. I mean, only twice this year when he finished a game did he not have at least 20 carries in the ball game. So he doesn't have to be signaling to feed him over there to the sideline. He's going to get the ball.
He's got 5 carries for 25. Blitz. Cowboys pick it up. Pass is caught by Terrence Williams for a first down.
This is one of the things that I've been really impressed with Ezekiel Elliott here at tailback, and his ability to pass protect. That's an area where a lot of young running backs, most young running backs, they simply can't do it because they weren't asked to do it in college. He is an excellent pass protector. He's a complete running back.
Now the Cowboys hurry it up and hand it to Elliott, who just pushes that pile. It was Urban Meyer, the head coach at Ohio State, who coached Elliott in college, who told the Dallas Cowboys Ezekiel Elliott is the best offensive player I've ever coached without the ball in his hands, and blocking and blitz pickup is a big part of that.
Yeah, and what that tells you, Joe, is that he's an unselfish player, because there's not a lot of those types of guys, but someone who takes as much pride in being able to protect as he does running the football. It says a lot about him as a guy.
Flag is down. Pass is caught by Williams, wide open, but a flag is thrown. And now another on the far side of the field.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense. Number 19 came into the huddle as a substitute and did not participate and left the field. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Wow, that's a costly penalty after a huge gain.
Mike Pereira, there's also a flag on the other side of the field, but first talk us through what Butler was guilty of.
Yeah, this is not an illegal substitution where you may come in just to the numbers and turn around and go back. If you actually enter the huddle and then leave the huddle without participating in the play, then it becomes unsportsmanlike conduct.
There he is, 19. Bryce Butler is all the way in the huddle and then comes out. And there was a flag on the far side of the field that they picked up down around the 20. And I think Mike McCarthy is going to question the spot of the ball. Mike Pereira, Tony Corrente said it was a 15-yard foul. They marked it as a 5-yard penalty.
The question was about the enforcement of the penalty, whether it was a 5 or a 15-yard penalty. It is a 15-yard penalty, and it was only marked as 5. We will add the additional 10 yards before we put the ball in play.
And that was a catch by Mike McCarthy on the sideline, where instead of second down and 10, they marched the ball all the way back to the 48 of Dallas. That's a big mistake by Butler. Also erased the completion that was going to take the ball inside the 20.
Yeah, you think of where they would have the ball right now after that completion to Williams, and now they're faced with 2nd and 20.
Prescott for Butler, broken up, and what a play by Micah Hyde. He's got a sack in this game, and now he makes a perfect play on that throw to Bryce Butler.
He really does, because initially it looked like he might try to undercut this ball when it was in the air. They may be able to come underneath it, and he stays up on the top shoulder, and he's able to make a play on it without going through the receiver. So already in this game, Micah Hyde has made some nice plays on the ball. And to reiterate what you said earlier, Joe, what a versatile player he has been. He made this team because he was a heck of a slot player off the edge as a blitzer, and he's had to wear a lot of different hats with all the injuries.
4 men on the rush, 3rd down and 20. Prescott overthrows Butler, who was open for a moment. And what looked to be a promising drive, because of a penalty on Butler, stalls inside Dallas territory.
Wow, you look at the coverage on the back end, and you know, he had a chance. It was not going to be an easy throw for Dak. He airmails Bryce Butler in the middle of the field, but the time that he was afforded in the pocket and not being able to find anybody open.
So Jones to punt. Cobb with a fair catch back at the 10. That penalty on Butler, by the way, cost the Cowboys 37 yards of field position. Took away a 22-yard completion, went 15 the other way. Back to work, Rodgers up 4. The Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers have met in the postseason, and two greatest running backs in franchise history, Tony Dorsett and Emmitt Smith, the all-time career rushing leader, checking this one out. as the Packers start from the 10, up by 4.
A lot of rushing yards between those two guys right there.
A lot of ex-Cowboys hanging around this stadium. Excited about the postseason. Worried about Aaron Rodgers. Ripkowski, the big fullback, carries it on first down and picks up 3.
You look at the start of this game, Joe. I have always believed that the wild card team coming into the divisional game is a little more relaxed than that team that drew the bye, because they've already won. They've won in the postseason. They're feeling good, and now, in a lot of ways, the pressure's taken off. This team sat home last week, and they got a chance to watch football, and then there's obviously big expectations. And to come out, we've seen some of the struggles. See what Green Bay's able to do on this drive, but it's kind of playing out that way, at least here in this first quarter.
2nd down and 7. Blitz coming late. Pass is for Cook, overthrown. After the Super Bowl, the clock resets for more 24. We've got a new day and a new hero. Corey Hawkins stars in 24 Legacy, premiering right after the Super Bowl Sunday, February 5th here on Fox. You get the bye week, and it's like pulling out of your driveway onto the Autobahn when you're taking on Aaron Rodgers. You better come out ready to go, because with as hot as he's been, he could put you away early if he gets smoking here in the first half.
Well, this would be a big 3rd down right here for this early in the game with this defense, and being able to make a stop inside the 15-yard line, get the ball back to their offense.
3rd down and 7. Rodgers flushed out. That's the way he likes it. What a throw to Cook. That's the tough part of Aaron Rodgers. He's flushed out of the pocket and throws a seed to Jared Cook.
Yeah, he loaded this one up too. He had some heat on this throw, and there wasn't really a whole lot there. I mean, Aaron just throws him right where he can make a play on that ball. Already in this game, we've seen Byron Jones in coverage. The ball that he missed to Jared Cook earlier, Brandon Carr was in coverage there, and he had beaten Brandon Carr, and so he's going to continue to be a factor in this game.
14 yards on 3rd and 7. Now Ty Montgomery with a nice run on first down.
In this receiver position, Joe, when you look at the fact that they don't have Jordy Nelson, I know in visiting with Mike McCarthy, every one of these receivers can play all 4 wide receiver positions on the field. And Mike said simply, in the 11 years that he's been the head coach, he's never had a receiver that couldn't play all the spots. So it's not like just one guy is going to be taking over the position for Jordy Nelson. You'll see Randall Cobb in the slot at times. You'll see Devontae Adams. Of course, we've already seen Richard Rodgers. These are all moving pieces that he has to deal with.
Play action pass for Allison out of his reach. And Orlando Scandrick was coming on a blitz, and I know you feel like Rod Marinelli, although it's risky against Aaron Rodgers, because nobody beats it better than number 12, has got to bring pressure.
I don't think you can let Aaron Rodgers sit in the pocket and just carve you up. And I know that Marinelli does not like to bring extra people. 16% of the defensive snaps was all that he brought pressure. But if they're not able to get to him better, I think he's going to have to do something.
3rd down and 3. Rodgers sits back. Over the middle, pass is caught. And that's the rookie Allison. Geronimo Allison, undrafted out of Illinois. Good for the catch. 9-yard completion.
I think this offensive line probably is the best pass protecting offensive line in football. I mean, we see this week after week, and it just affords Aaron Rodgers a ton of time. They split Ty Montgomery out on Sean Lee. He runs a sluggo route, slant and go, and he's beat. And Aaron caught it a little bit late. He saw it late. He started to make a throw. He pulled it back and went a different direction. But they've got too many guys for him just to sit in the pocket without Marinelli trying to bring some edge rushers.
Rodgers has started 5 for 7. He's found 5 different receivers. He finds Cobb for the 2nd time. And Randall Cobb is out of bounds at midfield. And so far, no answers defensively for Dallas against this red-hot Green Bay offense.
Well, the guy that they're hoping can be a factor in this game is DeMarcus Lawrence, and he's over on the sidelines right now. He has played in this game. He hasn't been a factor, of course. He missed the last 3 games of the regular season, missed the first 4 games of the regular season, only 1 sack on the year. He led the team last season with 8. But this is why he is here, and he needs to be that guy that can put pressure on Rodgers in passing situations.
Fan right. 319.
2nd down and 2. Blitz. Rodgers throws. Adams overthrown. And Adams was looking for a flag on Skandrick.
Now they see the shirt. You see the shirt pulled off the shoulder pad. That's usually a hold. I don't know what the official's looking at, but that alone, you know that he was grabbed. They missed a big play there. That clearly was a penalty, and Davante Adams has every right to be upset.
Mike Pereira, one spot down to your right, agrees. 3rd down and 2.
I think all of America agrees with that.
Pass for Adams. He's there and hitting stride. 1st down inside the 20. What a catch by Davante Adams, who spun around and Rodgers dropped it right in his lap.
David Bakhtiari, 2nd-team All-Pro left tackle. He just stones DeMarcus Lawrence on the outside, gives one-on-one, and they're working the middle of the field and some of those seam routes, and you see the job that Davante Adams does, and he makes a heck of an adjustment to the ball and making a play.
Packers are now inside the red zone, where they've gone 20 of 28 trips during this 7-game winning streak, scoring touchdowns.
319. 319.
Quick throw. Cobb looking for a move down inside the 10. They'll mark him at the 9, a gain of 8. And Orlando Skandrick on the tackle. But some of these throws, not that one in particular, but the throw to Jared Cook from Aaron Rodgers. The throw he just dropped into Davante Adams. Rodgers stays hot. Richard Rodgers has a touchdown. The Packers move it in again. Up 7-3. Back after this for the 2nd quarter. As we start the 2nd quarter, 2nd down and 2 for Green Bay, up by 4. Different story today with what this Green Bay offense has done in the opening quarter. 11th play of this drive. It started at their own 10. Pass is caught. That's Montgomery, and he's out of bounds with a 1st down. Ty Montgomery is a great story. Went to high school here locally at St. Mark's. Went to Stanford, was in the house when Emmitt Smith, who we showed you earlier, broke the all-time rushing record. He played at halftime of that game, ran for a 60-yard touchdown. He said, it's always been my dream to be a running back. Then at Texas Stadium, now here at AT&T, and he's doing it for the visitors, who are leading by 4 and looking for more. Pass is broken up. Byron Jones made the play. Pass was intended for big Jared Cook. 2nd and goal.
Boy, a lot of bodies right there where he's trying to fit that in to follow up on Ty Montgomery. Talking about the changes that he was able to make from wide receiver to more of a running back role. As you see that throw, you know, a lot of bodies for Rodgers to try to fit that thing in. But you know, he says that he's always felt that he was a running back in it, having to play wide receiver. So that transition for him has been pretty natural, about as natural as you could expect.
2nd down and goal. Here is Montgomery. And Ty Montgomery, no signal yet. Touchdown. Ty Montgomery is in for Green Bay as they run it in to add to their lead here in the opening minute of the 2nd quarter.
Well, Barry Church, the safety, he drops in and he's got a chance, but Ty Montgomery really does a good job of getting skinny, so to speak, and sliding through the hole. You're going to see Barry Church as he comes up, and Ty Montgomery's able to come underneath, and Sean Lee was there and just continue to move the pile. So the Cowboys had the one drive and then the big penalty, which cost them some momentum, have had to settle for a field goal. But the Packers off to a great start after the last 2 weeks of really struggling early in ball games. I don't see a lot there that's going to really tell exactly. Rodgers saw all he needed to see.
Like Ty backed his way in there, kept driving, and they've looked at it enough to agree that it was a touchdown. And the extra point now coming from Mason Crosby, who missed 3 during the regular season. Perfect here, and it's a 14-3 Green Bay Packer lead. Aaron Rodgers got him down there. Montgomery drove it in. Number 1 seeded Cowboys and their fans wondering how hot will Rodgers and the Packers stay up 11. For answers on that Dallas Cowboys sideline with the defense now taking a seat. 13-play drive, over 5.5 minutes off the clock. And Aaron Rodgers has started 9 for 13, 132 yards and a touchdown. And went to Richard Rodgers for the Packers for a score. So the drive will start at the 25. Well, Jaron Elliott is in the house today, but not playing. He's the Packers nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Throughout the past few years, Jaron has dedicated his time to multiple schools in Green Bay, spreading the word of being respectful to others and making the most out of opportunities. The winner will be announced at the NFL Honors Award Show on February 4th at 8 Eastern on Fox. The great guy working his way back from a break in his left hand. The cast is off. He told me today if the Packers move on to play in the NFC Championship game, he'd be ready to go next week. On first down, play action. Prescott out to his right, has Williams. That is off his chest and nearly picked. And that'll go down as a drop on Terrence Williams.
You can't put it any better than that. Terrence Williams